What's going on? Welcome to Asian Cosell. So I got one here by Dev Campbell, and it says, "You want the truth? There's more than just men dating BS." So let's get into this video here. So let me get this. Okay.
So I want to address something that I ignored when I first started this channel, but it's come up so much that I want to address this in a video. Countless times I've gotten messages from people and comments that say something along the lines of, why do you make these videos? Why do you care about these women? Why do you care about other people's dating experience? Let me explain something to you guys. Part of me starting this channel was simply a hobby, having fun, running my mouth, speaking my piece. Another part of this channel is because I'm sick and tired of seeing good, decent, average men that I can maybe help feel a little better about themselves, as they should. And then also part of me is sick and damn tired of seeing the shit I see in my world, in my country, to my people. And I'm not going to be quiet about it. I'm going to speak my mind because I can. If you don't want to listen, kick rocks. There's a bazillion other YouTube channels to watch. If you don't like what I have to say, you don't have to watch. I run my mouth and, gently poke at trashy, narcissistic, quite frankly, garbage women in the dating market today because it's a bigger problem. It's because of a bigger picture. Dating is one small element to our lives. People used to get married and have families and, everything that comes with that. Nobody's doing that anymore. Now, granted, let's pump the brakes because as far as I know from the research I've done, the child replacement rate thing has been an issue since probably the 70s, safely. Correct me down below if you know better than me. But from the research I've done throughout my life, I think around the 70s is when this started becoming a problem. But regardless, it's not getting better. Now, I don't give a shit what you do or don't do, if you want to have kids or don't want to have kids, but you're not going to tell me this isn't weird. You're not going to tell me that it's not strange that we have a society full of trash women.
Nope. You're, yeah, you're right on, because in the West and in your world, or, even in my world, it's a lot of debauchery. It's a lot of screwed up stuff here. And, I'm even overseas. I'm here in South Korea. Yeah, even if the women here don't go rah, rah, rah and do what the feminists do in the West, but some of the mind state is still here in Korea or all over. And this pretty much is going to become worldwide. So now you're telling the truth the way it is. And yeah,
That are running around hooking up with all these bums, lusting after guys that are the lowest of low, having no respect for decent men. You're not going to tell me this isn't weird. I'm not going to be quiet about it, quite frankly, because what goes on usually is women today run around with trashy scumbags, and then later on down the road, when they realize, the hype wasn't, all this hype was quite BS. These bums I've been running around with at the hip hop nightclubs and whatnot, they really weren't that good at all. I'm ready for a nice gentleman to marry me now. That doesn't happen. And at the end of this, women aren't happy either, quite frankly. And a lot of you guys that I've talked to in private about this, just in messages, you say, well, we all have a past. Why are you so hard on them? We all have a past. Yeah, we all do have a past. You got a good point. But you can't just take that line and run with it. You can't just keep waving that as a get out of jail free card to do whatever you want forever with no bounds at all. And then say, I was exploring my sexuality. Do what you want. But there's consequences sometimes when you do shit like this. Do what you want, ladies, but don't tell a guy like me I have to overlook it. If you want to walk like a duck and talk like a duck and quack like a duck, don't tell me I have to call you something else.
Yeah. And yeah, that's like what the common story that I hear. Oh, the chicks that will just get ran through their 20s, and then at 30, I want to settle down and get married, and then she wants somebody that can provide resources, and it's like nah. And most of the men like get it, they're like nah, checking out. I'm checking out of this thing. I don't want to deal with your drama. I don't want to hear about how many guys you've been ran through, even if you're going to lie about it, even if you say you have 50 or 100, or it's usually more than that. So no, it's really bad. And then even where I'm in South Korea, most women are just not even having this sex as much, but then they might have got ran through by somebody else a couple of times, even if the body count might not be high, but it's still high. And then the trauma. So at 30, and I'm like, nope. I ain't even dealing with that crap. All right, shooting game.
We have a problem in our society with. Before I take this thought any further, let me tell you guys something. Anybody that's watching this video right now, anybody that might be new to this channel, one of the main things when I started this, just for fun, was that I told myself, no matter what, I want to just be myself and keep my sincerity. Because when I watch YouTube videos and I come across a content creator, if my subconscious part of my mind sniffs out that maybe they're not being sincere without me consciously doing it, I'm turned off. I don't want to watch them anymore. So I try my best to be my sincere, strange self. Now, this channel's still new. Forgive me if I'm not perfect. I'm trying to get better at just being myself on camera. But I want to be sincere. And I want to be sincere because when you are that way, the people that click with you are going to be there no matter what. And the people that don't click with you aren't going to be there no matter what. And that's the way that I want it. With that being said, I say that because as this channel grows, there's a lot that you guys have no idea that I haven't even spoke on yet. Because I'm trying to figure out how to navigate talking about a lot of the woke bullshit, racial shit. I'm in Seattle, man. You want to talk woke bullshit and anti-white man rhetoric? I've seen and heard everything in this place. There's going to be many videos to come that are going to not sit well with a lot of you guys. So I'm already preparing myself to lose a handful, if not a lot, of subscribers, because a lot of the shit I'm going to say, a lot of you probably aren't going to like. So be it. I've been thinking about this for a few days now. I want it that way. I'm going to be sincere. I'm going to be true to myself and to the reality that I know is real. And if you don't like it, get the hell out of here. If you do like it, I'm glad you're here.
The thing is, yeah, like for example, so Dave, if you're a white guy in America, it is just so crap for you guys. even for myself as a male, it's crap. I'm luckily not in America. I come to America once a year. But yeah, it's just straight up just BS. It's okay to say, hey, white boy, hey, this, hey, that. And, you got to do this. Or like when a sister goes, hey, white boy. And I'm like, really? But you guys can say all you want, you know, but it's really bad if a white guy says it. And then if you're, out here in Asia, you might be better off here in some places, not all, because the truth of the matter is like a white guy's not even a concern for some of the Asian women, unless you're in somewhere else like Southeast Asia. Unless you're a youngster, maybe get with a Korean chicks if you're young. But if you're like old, like late 30s or 40s, yeah, you're cooked. So yeah, no, but I get it. I get it. I hear the same rhetoric about, oh, the white man oppressing me this, and a white man doing this, and a white man is trash, and a white man is this. I hear it all the time in the States. Here it's a little different, but even the older white guys around me that are some of my friends, they're even struggling to get a chick here, and some of them are decent looking, but it's just like, nah, I don't want to deal with it all. That's why we got to like go to Southeast Asia for more of a feminine woman, And yeah, I see it.
Speaking of race, when that in itself on a micro level, let me talk about that on a micro level in this video again. I've gotten shit from a lot of you guys because I say I would never date a woman that's into hip hop music and culture. I've had people come after me for that. I don't give a shit. I will die on that hill. Hip hop culture, we'll dive into this more in another video. Let me make it simple for this. Hip hop culture, as much as you might like it, love it, or hate it, hip hop culture is very anti-white culture.
Mm-hmm.
It always has been, and it's been that way throughout its rise. Woke culture, I watched this with my own two eyes. I sat back and I watched this in my lifetime. Woke culture, anti-white man culture, and I say white man very specifically, not anti-white man culture, rode the coattails of the rise of hip-hop music and hip-hop culture because they were synergistic. They worked together. There's a lot of that rooted in that culture. And for a guy like me, when I sit back and I look at the dating market and I look at things like music and I see women out here that idolize that culture, I wouldn't date them if my life depended on it. Not a chance in hell am I going to date women that idolize a culture that paints me as some evil bad guy, paints me as anything but a good man. Go to yourself. Not a chance. We'll dive into that more in another video. I'm not going to get too deep into the hot topics of that right now, but that's another one. I'm tired of sitting back watching every girl from 18 to 30 that walk and talk and act like a trashy woman in a hip hop video, and they idolize a culture that is too, again, plug your ears if you don't want to hear this. They idolize a culture that is literally the epitome of everything that's wrong with this once great nation and once great world, for that matter. Again, that's not meant to offend you based on your race or anything. That's a fact. That's a fact to me, and I'm not going to change my mind on that for anybody. Hip hop culture is the epitome of everything that's wrong with our once great civilization. And it's all that you see anywhere now. It's that music and culture in itself is probably to blame for safely 75, if not 80% of all of the bad of the women that are out here in the dating market today. You can blame the music culture in itself. And what have I said 1,000 times? Women are followers. Throughout history, they've always been followers. And in our modern times, they follow music parallel. They date parallel with music. So if women that are idolizing this music see a guy that doesn't epitomize that culture, they see you as lesser.
Yeah.
Most good men, in fact, I might argue all good men out there, aren't going to be like that. So when we have a society full of women that idolize that trash culture, we got a problem. And then those women play that game, run in those circles for years, and then think a guy like me, or maybe a guy like you, is going to marry them when they hit 35 years.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen because, man, yeah, and even like that's why I kind of avoid like the foreign bars here in Korea, because sometimes I run into these SJW chicks and they're talking about, yeah, I'm so oppressed, or black people are so oppressed because of the white guy. And I'm just like, really? You're going to sit there and push that agenda here? And it's like, just gives me a headache. And I don't even get into it with the girls, because if I get into it, I'm going to be like just wasting my energy. But yeah, I, I get what you're saying, Dad. Even if I'm not white, even if I'm Asian American, you know, yeah, it is always like, yeah, most of the music that said, yeah, I'm going to get white boy this, white boy that. It is. I agree with that. So, yeah, but I think a lot of the women in the West, not all, but majority, yeah, a lot of us just checked out. We're just like, yo, expat passport, bro. And then once that goes, I don't know what's going to happen. It's whatever's now these days.
Old. And they realize, yeah, I thought I was buying some great bill of goods. This wasn't all that fun. This wasn't what I thought it was going to be. Okay, I'm done playing around in the hip hop nightclubs. Will you marry me now? Not a chance in hell. So again, I make these videos partially because I'm just speaking my mind, goofing around, partially because I'm tired of seeing good, decent, average men be looked at as less by pop culture, looked at as uncool by pop culture, or just whatever, and they feel down on themselves when they shouldn't. We're not even going to talk about what the woke culture makes normal guys like me feel like, or tries to make us
Yeah.
feel like. We'll just talk about music today. And then lastly, because there is some serious worry, some serious reasoning behind these videos, because I'm sitting here watching my country, my world, and my people go to hell. I'm sitting here watching it before my very eyes. So what am I supposed to do? Sit back like you doom and gloom guys and say, it's all cooked. Who cares? Maybe you're right. Maybe this shit is all cooked. But I'm going to at least speak my mind. At the very least, I'm going to speak my mind. So if you guys want an answer to why I make these videos, why I care so much about it, why I just poke fun at women and stuff, because one, they deserve it. They deserve it. You walk like a duck, talk like a duck, dress like a duck. I'm calling you a duck. Secondly, because you other men out here need to realize that, like I've said before, as mean as this might sound, the vast majority of these women are far below you. And for some top reason, our society sees it in the reverse. And lastly, because I care. This stuff is important. It's important to me, and it should be important to you, because this is our future. In fact, it's not our future, because at this rate, we don't have a future.
Mm-hmm.
And you can take that literally as a country. You can take that as me talking about my race of people. At this rate, we don't have a future. And again, this isn't meant to offend anybody, because I'm grateful for everybody that's here. But I'm not going to sugarcoat shit like a lot of people do. I make these videos because I want to make these videos. If this channel blows up, awesome. If it goes to hell after even this video, whatever. I'm not going to lie to you guys, and I'm not going to lie to myself. I'm not perfect, but I want to do my best to keep this channel and these videos as sincere as possible, because sincerity goes a long way in a world today where nothing is sincere. That's all I got to say, guys. Until next time, God bless.
Yeah, and yeah, I know you're saying a lot of things, out loud, and you don't have to sugarcoat it, and that's fine, man. Because yeah, it's tough. Because even if you speak your mind, sometimes a job's like, you can't speak your mind, you're gonna lose your job, and that's why I kind of like work out in Korea as, just as a freelancer because my visa allows me to. And my attitude is just like, yo, if like, for example, like because I have a long-term visa, if my visa says, up, you can't be in Korea anymore. All right, I gotta go F off to the Philippines, F off somewhere, as long as I can just keep making my income and make it work. So yeah, but no, I get why, and yeah, just a lot of this is just really bad, and it's like maybe 60% of women by 2030 is going to be single, and I think I'm being nice by saying 60%. It might be more like 70%. So yeah. All right. If any of you enjoyed any of this content, please give me the HKO special. Help the king out. Hit the like, subscribe, and comment. And wherever you are, stay safe. And I'll see you in my next video.